everyone, welcome to this week's live sesh AMA. I am so excited for this one. I have so much energy. I'm elated to share everything we have with you today. Obviously, I'm going to talk a lot about merch, and then Luke is going to hop in and talk about Ronin and next stages and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're not already, go head in game. You can go through the portal in Terravilla Central to the right of the hot air balloon to the theater. There's a small energy booster in the room to celebrate. You can also live stream directly from there if you click on one of the mics. And if you have any questions for us, as I'm sure you will, please throw them in the YouTube live chat, and we are always monitoring it, and we'll bring them up. And let me bring up Luke.
Hey guys, excited to be here today. Last week was a huge week, and what's fun is the whole team is super energized after last week. Tons of new faces, and if you guys aren't with us right now, come into the theater. Every single AMA that we do, we have like a free energy bubble out there. So we like to have you guys come in the game with us, hang out for a minute. But yeah, it's been a really, really awesome week. We announced last week that we were moving to the Ronin chain, which is a big deal. And you guys have kind of seen what exactly that, kind of unlocks for us. We got to sit down with the founder of Axie Infinity, Gio, and Kathleen last week in our AMA. And we kind of described to you guys, why we made the decision, why it was so interesting. And yeah, it's funny because now the Ronin chain seems really, really hyped. So it feels totally like the right move. Ronin completely feels like home. And yeah, in this AMA, we're basically going to go over a couple of things. Heidi has a really awesome announcement on merch, and we'll kind of fill you guys in on what we're doing with that. And then I also want to kind of talk about what the Ronin migration is going to look like, give you guys an expectation around timelines, what that's going to involve to actually move over to the Ronin chain, what you guys will have to do. High level, the idea is to make it as easy and seamless as possible. We don't want to make this a very complicated thing, and we want you guys to have a good experience too. We truly feel like Ronin's going to be the easiest, most user-friendly place that you guys can live, especially as we move on to the next stages of, all the different things we're about to release. We have new NFTs coming out soon. We might potentially do a tiny airdrop on Ronin to farmland owners as well too. Hinted at that. And then, yeah, we also want to talk about Chapter 2 and what you guys can expect, what kind of features that we're working on, and what we kind of plan over the next 2 to 3 months as we're getting ready for Chapter 2, the next stages of Pixel, and the Pixel token too. So this will be a really fun AMA. And again, if you guys haven't joined us for an AMA before, we do these every single week. We're extremely transparent with all the questions that we answer. You guys can literally answer or ask anything. This team is here every single week with all of you to answer any questions that you might have. The reason why we do this is because we think this transparency is extremely important. We really want to make sure that you guys have an understanding of what it is that we're building, so we can just be here with all of you. And then, good or bad, I think it's really important for us to show up and to be here with all of you guys to kind of understand, what your guys' needs are, so that we know, what is the right thing for us to be building, because we try a lot of things. We're a very experimental team, and we don't always get everything right. So, it's also important for us to come here and kind of ask questions back to all of you as well. So a lot of these AMAs, they're also completely for all of you, and they're for us as well. It's not a one-way street. So yeah, with that, I think we want to start to talk about merch. I know Heidi has a lot on that right now.
I'm so hyped. Okay, but I just want to say, going way back to everyone in the theater right now, I'm going to share with you a little bit of tea, a little bit of a leak, okay? The heart was created for the first time we ever threw a party, an energy party, was Valentine's Day, if you guys remember that. So obviously we made it a heart, and hearts were coming out of everyone's heads. Now, it's been a minute. The heart doesn't necessarily always make sense. It's cute. I love it. But anyways, I've been trying really hard, begging for some updated art for that. So I'm not going to share what it is quite yet, but just know that we're going to diversify a bit, and it might not be a heart next time. It might be something that makes more sense and is more fun, and I'm really excited about. So
I think the hearts are really cute.
There's a little tidbit. I do too, but there's something cute coming. It's fun. It's more fun than the heart. Okay. Merch. I need to breathe. I am so hyped on this. So I was thinking about how do I portray, how do I get across all of the information I want to share with you all today and I cannot keep track because I'm like vibrating. So I actually made like a presentation, okay, like a slideshow PowerPoint presentation. It is quite possibly the worst graphic design you've ever seen. Okay. But it's got everything we need to know in there. And I'm really upset actually because I added a bunch of just absolutely terrible GIFs and they don't work on StreamYard, on the streaming service that we're using right now. They're not working. I'm really upset about it actually. You see the SpongeBob one that says one eternity later, you know, and then we got a bunch of, minions freaking out and me floating in space, but everything is static. So it is what it is. But here we go. Pixels merch is finally here. Oh my gosh. I've been working on this for so long. And when I say so long, I don't mean like this iteration. I mean, when Luke hired me, I was ordering merch. Like day one, I was ordering merch, and it was for like various events and that we were working on when we were really small and just starting out. And then we're like, okay, we want to sell merch to our users for fun. But then it was just garbage. The print on demand stuff that we were finding or trying to figure out was just, the quality wasn't there. And I just refused to sell something of low quality to you all. So then we looked at something more expensive, but of course then it would be way too expensive to sell to you all. So it took us a year and a half, I kid you not, to finally nail in something that is like a really good balance of quality versus price. And the design, we kept it simple so that everyone is comfortable wearing it. So yeah, let me dive in here. It is live. So our store is live. This is the URL. If anyone out there makes a fake website, or, I'm not surprised, we're often a target of stuff like this, please make sure you are only going to this website and purchasing from this website, okay? There are no other sites, just this one, all right? The store will be open for only 1 week. So today and then tomorrow, next week's AMA, that is the last day. And I will explain why in a minute, okay? But this is the URL. It's live right now. You can go check it out. You can go order right now. There are 2 different hoodies. So when we were talking about design, we came up with lots of things. Like one thing I actually went pretty far down the path of figuring out was like, originally I was thinking it'd be funny to say like, get good. And if you guys were in our community, like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, Luke told a user to get good, and it became like a bit of a meme. And I thought, oh, that would be really funny on a hoodie. But of course, not everyone would understand. And now that we're selling them, right, we wanted to make it more open for everyone and just like something everyone would be comfortable wearing. So for this merch drop, for our very first one, we're keeping it very, very simple. I personally like the colorful one, of course, but if you want something a little bit even more subdued, you can go with the black and white. And they are embroidered, so it's like really nice quality. So each hoodie, this is a screenshot from our website. The hoodies are $65 US each, and I will dive into the cost breakdown in just a minute. But yeah, this is what our website looks like, and those are just renders, but you'll see there are pictures of me wearing the hoodie on the website. Okay, I need to breathe. Ooh, I'm so excited. Sorry. Okay, they are extremely high quality. Now, if you're around and you come to these AMAs, you've heard me talk about this before, you're probably already sick of hearing this. I understand, but I wish you could all feel and see these hoodies in person. They are the highest quality hoodie I have ever come across and owned in my entire life. So let me dive into it a bit, okay? So the Pixels logo is embroidered. Let me find it here. So you can see it is embroidered. They're like an oversized unisex sizing. So they're a bit baggy for like a very modern feel. When I was looking into merch, a lot of merch are just the exact same cut of hoodie. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen it, you've owned it. They're kind of just like, you go to H&M and you buy the basic hoodie. It looks the same, right? I didn't really want that. I wanted something, first of all, higher quality, but also something like more modern. So they are like an oversized, baggier. They don't have any drawstrings. That kind of vibe to them. And I wear a medium, as you can see in the picture too, what that looks like. I'm tall though. I'm 5'8", 173 centimeters. I think Luke would probably also wear a medium. Tyler would probably wear a medium. A lot of our team would wear a medium. I don't know. But anyways, just to give you a sense of sizing. Okay, luxury fabrics. So I want to talk about this because this is super important to me. When you first buy like a hoodie, like I said, like let's use the H&M example, right? Like a cheap hoodie, 20 bucks, whatever. It's got that fluffy inside. It feels so good and soft. Then you wash it 3 times and it's pilling and it's falling apart and it's scratchy and it's not nice, right? So this is not like that at all. The fabric, when you first receive the hoodie, you'll notice it's not that super soft, cheap kind of fabric. It's actually kind of like this. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe I should hold on. Let's do this for a second. You can see what it kind of looks like. And when you first get it, it's a bit rougher. And then the more you wash it, the more you wear it, the softer it gets. So it actually does the opposite of your typical fluffy hoodie. It gets softer more you wear it. So like I have this old one here that it's a design that we didn't end up going with, but I wore it a lot and it is so soft. So there's that. And let me bring this back up. So the weight of the cotton fabric is 430 grams. So it's like a thick, really, really luxurious, high quality fabric. Cheaper, thinner ones are around 220 to 300 grams. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look it up. It's just like a rating and like a weight of the fabric that we're using. They're 100% cotton, so they're super comfortable, breathable. And then I already talked about the size I use. Okay. All right. So we're doing this in what some would call a pre-sale format. So we have not manufactured any hoodies so far. The only ones that exist are the ones on my back, right? And the reason we're doing this is that we're not going with a print on demand style. Now, why are we doing that? Well, what I touched on earlier is that the quality was so poor. It was so bad. I couldn't do it. I refused. And it honestly wouldn't have costed much different to sell it to you guys, which hurt me even more. It wouldn't have been much cheaper. This also lowers the cost. So this means that we can go to the manufacturer and be like, hey, I need you to make this amount. And they make them all at the same time, which is a lot cheaper for them. And we can, extend that cost onto the user, onto you guys, okay? And then, of course, we're ensuring high quality throughout the whole process, which is super beneficial. Once again, don't need to explain that. So the store will only be open for 1 week. If you want to order a hoodie, you have to do it during this time. The downfall to this is that it will be a while before the hoodies make it to you. And when I was debating and we were debating, like, how do we want to do this? Is it worth it? Like, that's a pretty big con. We decided that it actually was worth it because we were able to lower the cost. And just from a sustainability point of view, too, we're not making a bunch that might end up being wasteful. So we decided to do it this way. So manufacturing is going to take 8 to 10 weeks. And then shipping will take a few extra. So it is going to be several weeks before you see the hoodie. We'll see how this plays out. I definitely think it's worth it. The people in their community that I have spoken with and confided with on this agree that this style is worth it for all of the pros, but we'll see how this plays out.
And just a reminder, guys, we're selling these at cost. So really the intention is we really just want you guys to be able to rep Pixels. We're not trying to make money off of this. We just partly we feel like if you own a Pixels hoodie, you're probably gonna stay in the community a bit longer, right? So there's some marketing side of it on our end for that reason. Really we just want to give you guys the best quality hoodie that reflects our brand in a very positive way for as cheap as possible.
Okay, and we'll dive into that right now, actually. So this was a GIF, and that's why the quality is poor, and I am in black and white because GIFs are low quality, but now it's not working. So I was just pointing out that if you go to the website, there's a full section on cost breakdown. So you see the yellow text there that says cost breakdown. I really recommend you go and click on that and read through it, and it'll make sense to you about why we're doing it this way. But I'm just going to give you a short little explanation right now. Okay. Cost breakdown. So the standard retail price of this hoodie, this exact hoodie, this super high quality hoodie is $150 US. So let that sink in, because when we first started working with the company that we're working with to create these, and they suggested we sell them for $150, I almost said, okay, goodbye, not happening. There's not a chance I would sell our community something of that would cost that much, because it's just not attainable for a lot of people, right? And I want you to wear them. I want you to have them. So these retail regularly for $150. The cost of manufacturing the hoodie, which once again, look on the website, it'll explain what that really means, but it means like, the base hoodie, the embroidery, all of that kind of stuff is costing us Pixels $60 per hoodie. The extra $5 that we're charging you goes towards processing, handling, management, website management, all of those things. Okay. So that is the breakdown of the $65. So the profit for Pixels is $0. And I didn't bother writing this on this slideshow, but we're actually going to be losing money on this because we're giving some away. And things just sometimes cost a little bit more than we had predicted. So we're actually going to be losing money on this, but we think it's just worth it for you guys to get these in your hands. So we have done everything we possibly can to lower this price and keep the quality high. So sorry, I've never seen Ice Fire. You guys, like, I've been working on this for so long and I'm so excited and I don't know how else to portray all of this information to you. So like, I really hope it's getting across and how passionate I am about this as well, of course. Okay. See, now this was a GIF of them like running around in circles, really excited, and it was really stupid and cute, and I was excited. But anyways, the merch store is open. That's all I was going to share with you on merch today. The store is only open for 1 week, so go and order right now. And what you all have been waiting for, I'm going to share with you all the winners of the giveaway. So we just ran 2 giveaways. The Roman for Ronin Quest had a giveaway portion to it. And then a couple of days ago, we also posted a merch specific giveaway. So in both of those giveaways, we're giving away merch. And then the Roman for Ronin also has like a bunch of other stuff. We're giving away the Ronin team is giving away Ron, an Axie land item. We're giving away some berry and then merch codes. So we need like a drum roll, like, I don't know. Here are the winners from the Roman for Ronin Quest tweet. So Babes Cryptoland and B Porter, you guys have received Ron. Axie land item goes to Jen Chang Levy. 300,000 berry going to Rude and a Balin K. Merch codes will be going to Helium, Israel Lingo, and Crypto J20. So congratulations. Obviously, we'll be posting more about this and we'll reach out to you all. But congratulations to everyone that's won something here. I'm so excited for you guys. It was actually hard because I kept, running the system and like pulling a winner. And I just wanted to keep going because I was like, oh, I just want more people to win these things. All right. And then we have the merch giveaway tweets. So we can do a little. Okay, so 3 merch codes are going to Envious24, Biscuits, Bubble, and Stewie That. So congratulations if you have won anything today. That's all I have for you. I'm out of breath. I'm so pumped. I need to stop drinking coffee before these AMAs. And yeah, let's go.
Amazing. Yeah, no, so congrats everybody who won. And then there were like a few more questions about some of the merch stuff. So like maybe we'll just go through that. And then we'll move on to the 2 other pieces of the agenda items that we have today, talking about the Ronin migration and then talking about chapter 2 plans as well. So I started with you.
Worldwide shipping. Okay, so we ship worldwide. So order away. Obviously, we've had some questions about, various countries having like some sanctions or like maybe some countries, their shipping post system is a little bit structured differently and they've had issues ordering. So everything we are shipping is shipping from the US, shipping from California. So if you have any concerns about the shipping process to your country, please reach out to us on the help center and we'll just take a note of like your name and the country. And then if you have any advice, I know we have some team members in Eastern European countries and they were like, hey, use this company, not this one. So if you have any suggestions like that, we are being extremely flexible. We want these hoodies in your hands. So yes, we ship worldwide. And if you are concerned, please reach out. And then of course, if we can't make it work, we can refund you. We're not going to like gouge you. We're pretty genuine here. We want you guys to have them. We're not trying to just take money, of course. Okay. What size to order for a 6'4" guy? Okay, so I would say an extra large. They are an oversized fit. So, like I said, I'm 5'8", 173 centimeters. I wear a medium. My partner, he is 6'4", and he can squeeze into this. I'm not saying it looks good on him. He needs a bigger size, but I would comfortably order him a extra large. But they are like an oversized fit too, so there's some room there.
Amazing. And I think those are most of the questions around here. So
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, if you have any other questions, pop in the Discord. If you have like a concern, put it in the help center.
So at this time, the hoodies do not have perks in the Pixels game.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of a fun thing to do,
maybe
but at
next time.
this time, no. All
Okay,
right.
so yeah, let's move on to some of the next stuff now. Super excited about merch, and yeah, we'll answer more questions if there's more questions there. So, great question, Ahadu. When are we moving to the Ronin chain? So, I think estimated timeline on our end is anywhere from like 3 to 4 weeks, just to be conservative. And this is finally coming from me, a conservative estimate of when we're ready to move to the Ronin chain. Right now, we basically have all the pieces together. On test nets, we're about to like start to move some things over to the main net when it comes to the Ronin chain. And yeah, we have most of the pieces ready. Now it's just basically like QA, making sure that we have some of the pieces together. And I'll kind of explain to you guys what exactly this migration is going to look like, what you can expect in terms of user experience, and what exactly we plan to move over the Ronin, and what we, like the timeline around all of that as well too. So right now we have a couple of on-chain assets. We have the Berry token and we have farmland. We used to have some more on-chain assets. If you guys were following Pixels for a while, you would know that every single in-game item used to be on-chain. We had it on Polygon, and we would have all of these on-chain items like your pot berries, your seeds, all of that on-chain. And we used custodial wallets for that. So we moved those off-chain because it just became extremely expensive. We paid for all the gas. I think we were paying like $50,000 to $60,000 a month on gas fees on your behalf. And those are items and assets that we're eventually interested in moving back on chain, and those would eventually live on Ronin. But for now, we're going to keep those off chain until we have a good solution to keep those costs down, to make the user experience, very nice, and to do all that. So what we're going to be moving on chain is we're going to be moving the Berry token to the Ronin network, which is super exciting. We'll be having it on Katana, and we'll be basically going through that whole process. Now, we know that there is currently liquidity pools that users have provided on the Polygon network. And, there's actually tokens that live outside of the game on the Polygon network now. What's really interesting is you're not going to have to bridge Berry through any bridge or do anything like that. All you'll have to do is you'll have to deposit it into the game, and we'll have deposit from Polygon into Pixels turned on for months and months. We'll keep supporting it for a bit. What we've already done is we've already turned off withdrawal on the Polygon, and eventually what we'll have is the deposit and withdraw functions available on the Ronin network. So then you'll actually be able to interact with the token like you would previously on Polygon on Ronin. Again, timeline on this is about anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. The team already has all of this stuff built out. Now we're basically just QAing, making sure it's rock solid. And we actually have a really interesting opportunity to add some new functionality to the contract as we move over to Ronin. Basically, we'll just create a new contract on Ronin, and we might add some of the functionalities that our users have been asking for, like blacklisting. That way, if we don't catch bots and they move it on chain, we might be able to blacklist the user, things like that, just to make sure that we're a bit tighter on currency increase and all of that kind of stuff. So expect that soon. The other thing that you can expect is, we're going to eventually move primary authentication or your primary login to Ronin rather than having it be through MetaMask. Now, I know this is a bit scary for some of our users, but it's also funny because this is something that I've seen actually a lot of Axie players and Ronin users waiting for as well. But basically how this is going to work is we're going to be supporting multiple wallets onto your account, but we will eventually require you to have a Ronin wallet linked to your account. So we'll have some grace period there where you won't need Ronin wallet set up right away. But eventually, in order to act with all the interesting on-chain elements, you're going to need a Ronin wallet. The Ronin wallet and the ecosystem is actually so much more user-friendly than MetaMask or any of these other wallets. So if you're intimidated, don't feel too worried. The Ronin team has so many great resources on how to actually onboard people. And what's great is they've onboarded millions and millions of users in the Ronin already. They have so many resources and ecosystem guides on how to do it. We'll direct you towards all of that. So what we're not going to require you to do is you won't have to import an existing wallet into Ronin. That is going to be an option if you want to. You can import your seed phrase into the Ronin wallet and have the same ETH address as your Ronin wallet. But we'll just make it so that you can set up a new wallet and connect it to your existing Pixels account, basically. So new Ronin players, you won't ever have to touch MetaMask if you don't want to. But having a MetaMask attached to your account in addition to the Ronin wallet might open up ETH interoperability if you're interested in that. So one of the coolest things about our game is that you get to interact with a ton of different communities on the ETH ecosystem, and we want to maintain that interoperability. So that means that we really want you to still be able to connect to MetaMask and connect into the ETH ecosystem if you want. But if you don't want to, and if you're just a strict Ronin user, you'll never have to. But it'll be an interesting add-on feature that you can have essentially. What's interesting too is we're going to start to explore Ronin interoperability. So there's a ton of awesome communities built on Ronin already. Cyberclang Skinkai, Axie Dolls, Axie Infinity, Axie Land, that kind of stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that we get to start to explore and experiment with as well too. We've already been in contact with a lot of the secondary Ronin projects or like Axie Dolls, things like that. We're super interested in exploring interoperability strictly in the Ronin ecosystem as well. So yeah, basically we're gonna have a really cool system where you'll have all that Ronin interoperability. We'll have all of our assets on Ronin, and then we'll still maintain ETH interoperability for the people who want to access that as well. And we'll still work on partnerships with people in the ETH ecosystem because why not? But I actually, it's kind of funny. I think a lot of these ETH projects that we want to be working with will also be moving over to Ronin eventually. I just have a feeling. So yeah, there's some exciting stuff there. And again, for us, the important part is making sure the user experience of this migration is extremely simple, that you don't have like any chance of breaking anything. You don't have any chance of assets getting lost. So that's why our preference is just having you set up a new Ronin wallet and connecting it to your old account rather than having to import seed phrases or do anything crazy like that. So we're excited about that. And then, in terms of what we have coming up on Ronin, we have some pretty fun stuff as well. We've been holding off the carnival for this specific reason. What we didn't want to do was mint a new NFT on Polygon and then have it have to be bridged. So we've been waiting to release pets until we made this announcement. And now pets are coming up pretty soon. They'll be minted on the Ronin chain, and they'll basically be minted the day that we launch the carnival. The carnival is this new activation that we have coming up. We'll launch it, as soon as we're ready to go live on Ronin. Basically, that's when we're going to be launching the carnival. And what this is going to be a super fun, like 28-day, like maybe like 36-day activation where we have a bunch of mini games lined up. You'll get to earn these carnival tickets, spend them on some loot boxes, and have a chance of opening up these new Genesis pets that we're working on. So we're going to be releasing 100 Genesis pets. They'll be a unique trait. They'll look very different than any other pet that we're going to be releasing in the future. And they'll be like basically a commemoration of us coming on Ronin. So those will be coming out, as soon as we're ready to go live on Ronin. Basically, when we have Ronin auth and like login ready, I think that's the time that we plan on launching the carnival and doing all of that. So expect that in like 2 to 4 weeks, and we'll be more transparent around timelines with that. I just want to be a bit conservative in case anything goes wrong with like QA and testing, but our team basically has everything ready now. So, we just need to make sure that we're working with the Sky Mavis team and the Ronin team to make sure that we have a good go live on mainnets. But very excited about that, and it should be quite soon that we go live with that. So yeah, all of you who have been waiting for us to move to Ronin before you try the game too should be coming in, not too long. And what's really interesting too is, I did see a good question. There's been some questions around like, will you transfer land plot sales from OpenSea onto the Mavis market? Will you be accepting Ronin payments for those? And if so, will this be at the time of the game transit? Yeah, there's some interesting stuff there too. So right now, when we go live on Ronin, the plan is to migrate Barry to Ronin and then do a new mint on Ronin with these pets NFTs. Also, some potential airdrops that might happen on Ronin as well. Might just hint towards that in the second half of this update. Um, and yeah, the pets will be live. That's the plan. You know, we want them on the Mavis marketplace. And yeah, what's interesting is people don't know this. The Mavis marketplace and the Ronin chain actually has more NFT volume all time than like many other ecosystems. It's actually, I think it's the second most active NFT marketplace of all time, something like $4 billion of volume just on Axes. So it's interesting because there actually is, you know, a good amount of liquidity and the marketplace is very healthy. You know, we are potentially interested in moving the farmland over to Ronin as well too. So let us know your thoughts on that. But I think we are generally leaning towards moving farmland over there as well. I think it opens up some interesting things when it comes to liquidity, trading, and all the things that we really want for it, you know, us and you as a community. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that and that's something you guys want, let us know because then we'll prioritize that too. I know the Ronin team is working on an NFT bridge right now, and that's something that we could definitely take advantage of if it's something our community wants. We can prioritize that as well. I personally think it's probably a good call to do that. Yeah, I just see a lot of benefits for it. So yeah, we can move it over there. And if we move it onto the Ronin chain, then that means that you will be transacting land in, you know, either wrapped ETH that you bridge from ETH to Ronin or in, you know, the Ronin currency.
Okay, we've got a lot of questions. They've been really great. I just want to say I'm really excited. So Ryan from Drops by Ryan, who is our merch guy, is on our Discord and he is active in general chat right now. So if you've got any questions about merch from like the actual merch company manufacturer, go hop in our Discord general chat right now, tag him, Ryan. He's answering everyone's questions and it's wonderful. Okay, back to all of the other questions.
Yeah, just a comment. Playing Pixels with all these new players in the Ronin chain feels like spending Christmas at home with the family. I mean, yeah, all I can say is that it's been extremely validating moving to Ronin. And I think the community understands that it was definitely the right choice for us. And it's cool because I think a lot of the rest of the Web3 space is seeing, oh, there's something very interesting in this Ronin community. And yeah, it's great to be a first mover on here. I'm expecting a lot of other stuff to happen on this chain too. I cannot even start to describe how bullish I am on the Ronin ecosystem. You know, this is literally just the beginning of it, and they're getting the best projects. 100%. Like I can't spoil anything. I can't leak anything for you guys because it's not mine to leak. But I know there's just a ton of really crazy stuff behind the scenes in the Ronin ecosystem, and yeah, they're just basically getting all the best projects that they want. And the cool thing is they get to be very picky with who they choose to bring on. And yeah, their goal is really only to bring on high quality projects as well. So yeah, we're super aligned with that team. And yeah, the community and the support from the Ronin ecosystem has been awesome, so validating, and we're very appreciative of it.
Yeah, it's honestly exceeded any expectations I could have even dreamt of. Like this past couple weeks has just been amazing, insane. Okay, couple more nitty gritty questions. I think you kind of already talked about this a bit, but do we have to bridge our pixel lands to Ronin?
Yeah, so that's something that we'll talk about. I'm quite interested in that. Obviously, bridging can always be kind of scary, but I really do think it would be the right call if we did it. That's all I'll say. But yeah, not currently required. And you know, it's not the top priority too. We'll go live on Ronin before we even think about doing this.
Okay. So why did the Ronin event end so fast? I created a few videos. Yeah, I've actually been chatting with this creator. He's wonderful. So that quest was just supposed to be like a really fast, like celebrate the announcement. It happened quest. It wasn't supposed to be anything like long term. If you guys really want it back, we actually haven't closed the quest itself. We just removed all the blocks. So maybe we should do a second event where we add blocks again, maybe a different map, maybe somewhere else. I don't know. Tell us what you think. If you guys want to do this, that would be fun. We're down. So,
are you planning on adding liquidity on Katana for Barry, or are you expecting people to add liquidity? So our approach is like we have not been providing liquidity for Barry, even on Polygon. There's a few differences between the Barry token and our upcoming token, the Pixel token. So somebody asked, is the Pixel token out yet? Or how can we earn Pixel? Pixel is not released yet. And we are planning on releasing it. The goal is like the next 3 to 4 months to actually go live with Pixel. And Pixel will be a very different token than the Barry token. Really the analogy is similar to SLP and AXS and how these two tokens differentiate. If you guys are from the Axie community, but it's interesting because we've actually gone on an extreme with these currencies more than SLP and AXS, where Barry has always been intended to be like an inflationary currency, in-game currency, not intended to hold a lot of value, but it's been our job to kind of figure out how to stabilize it just through in-game play, balance, and bot prevention detection. It's interesting because you can do all this theoretical stuff behind currencies in Web3 games, but the practical side is very different than the theoretical side. So there's this element of game balance, thinking about buy, sell pressure, all of that. Then there's the reality of okay, if you give this token to bots, or if you create a game that is bottable, that is actually going to have a 10x greater impact on anything to do with token price stability, that kind of stuff. And that's been our primary focus, basically figuring out how we can manage those sides of things. So yeah, Pixel token, that's going to be a hard currency. If you play any games like Clash of Clans, even RuneScape, most games have this concept of a hard currency now, and it's going to be a currency that we are just able to much more tightly control how it's distributed, and it's going to have different use cases in the game than the Barry token does. Pixel, you won't be able to earn it in the first 10 seconds that you play the game like you can a Pixel token. It's going to be a bit harder to earn. We're going to be a bit more precise with how we distribute it, and it might be a bit harder to get. But that being said, yeah, we do want to. This is an element of Web3 gaming that we're interested in. Truthfully and transparently, legally, we do want to be careful on this side of things when we provide liquidity for a currency on our own. But the interesting thing is we can provide incentives for our community to do it, and that's one thing that we haven't been as good at. So it's definitely something that we're looking into, of how we can do better in-game rewards for providing liquidity. We can give you any perks, things like that. So yeah, that's been our approach around Barry. But just note that Pixel will be a bit different when it comes to things like that. We're planning on doing centralized exchange listings and going that whole route for that token.
Okay. I think I saw a few more questions about Ronin. When Axie avatars in game?
I don't want to leak anything around this. What I will say is that we're very, very interested in this ecosystem for obvious reasons. And what I will say is our key learning over the last year and a half is interoperability is an amazing UA strategy, user acquisition strategy. But we've also found that the more creative that you are with interoperability, the better it works. So we might want to be doing something a little bit special if we do anything with Axie avatars and pixels. So we don't want to do it in the same way that we did some of the other interoperability that we've done with avatars. We think this is a very special thing. And if we bring them in, we want to do it in a very special way. So we'll be thinking about some things like that.
You just said so much without saying it. It's just oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Let's see. What will happen to the in-game item market when we switch to the Ronin chain? Will it stay in-game or move to the Ronin market?
Yeah, so the in-game item marketplace, it's actually currently off-chain. We used to back it one-to-one on-chain, but we had it in custodial wallets to make it very easy for our users. And that is one of the bummers of having it off-chain right now. You don't get transparency in the in-game marketplace data on-chain. And that's an issue that we want to fix. But actually, this is quite a hard technical issue to fix if you don't want users spending gas or spending money on transaction fees for low value items. So it's interesting because this is actually a whole problem area that we've identified in Web3, which we're actively working on solving. And I don't think nobody solved it yet. There's something interesting with subnets, supernets that might solve this in the long run. But currently, there's an asset class that exists in Web3 gaming of what I like to call low value, high volume items. And really, right now, Ronin actually is a bit better. It's like Ronin's about like 10 times cheaper than Polygon, so it could potentially work. But right now, this asset class of low value, high volume items, most of our in-game items, you would basically be spending more money on gas than the item is worth to move them around. And that's kind of an issue. It doesn't really make sense in terms of UX. So we've moved some of these items off chain on the in-game marketplace for that reason. And they have a loose connection with the Berry currency, which is on chain. So we still have to be very aware of how we balance them, how we move these items around. But these are some things that we want to be moving back on chain for transparency reasons. But we need to find a way to do that. And that's been a large focus of our tech stack and what we've been thinking about. We've actually created some of our own custodial wallet solutions, even just to do on-chain transactions or to do on-chain user tracking. And this is stuff that we could eventually move into these wallets if we want to as well. It just has to make sense. Or we might do we had a whole system of doing lazy pushes to the blockchain, which worked kind of well. Still was costing us 30 to 40,000 a month in gas prices. But Ronin being 10 times cheaper could be worth it. So yeah, we'll be looking into this kind of tech solution again. We're very interested in being on a chain that is just more optimized for gaming for that reason.
All right, more questions. If you guys have any more questions, make sure you're putting them in the YouTube live chat.
I didn't even get to talk about chapter 2 stuff yet.
I know we have this is okay. So this is going to be a long AMA. But what I will say ahead of time is that Mayor Flepsid's second energy party is happening. It's starting in 15 minutes. So even if this goes on long, you guys, if you're streaming us in the theater, just hop over to a YouTube tab and then you can head over to his land. It is 458. So there's a big energy party happening in 15 minutes, land 458. So yeah, anyways, if you have any more questions, make sure you're throwing them in the YouTube live chat.
Yeah, let me spend 5 minutes just updating you guys on chapter 2, and then maybe in the next AMA we'll spend a bit more time on it then. So chapter 2, all of this, we've been working on that, right? What's interesting is our team, since we prepped a bit of content with this other spec event, then also with the carnival, now we have some time to focus on chapter 2 and what that actually looks like. So for chapter 2, we've been prepping some really interesting stuff. And we have been talking about all these things we want to be working on, but really, I just want to point out 3 main areas of interest that we've been, actually dedicating resources and time into that we'll be working on. So in chapter 2, what you can expect is we're working on some gameplay polish. So basically, we're going to be taking some more elements from games like Stardew Valley, our favorite, bringing them into Pixels, just some of the easy mechanics that work. So our team has been messing around with daily questing. So if you ever played Stardew Valley and you go to the notice board, you'll know that there's daily tasks that you can do. Basically, you might have to bring an egg to an NPC or a diamond to an NPC. These are the kinds of things that we'll start to bring into the game. We're going to start to bring in a bit more polish when it comes to onboarding, and a few more game mechanics to just kind of spice things up like that as well. So there's a focus on core loop, just polishing it up, making it feel a bit better, bringing in some more elements like that. The second thing that we're going to put a large emphasis on is we're going to start to release more of our user-generated content tooling. And one new concept that we are working on and we want to be releasing, it's called Realms. So we have some great tooling behind this whole tech stack that we built out. And what we want to start to make user facing is some of our tools like the map builder and the world builder. And we released our decoration builder in the core loop of Pixels not too long ago, a few months ago. We've seen some really awesome art. What we want to do is we want to take that to the next level. Can you guys actually build out unique environments, worlds, and create something from scratch with all of your own assets? So we'll be able to let you upload your own environment stuff, your own tile maps, and your own objects, and create your own world from scratch. So those will be called Realms. We're very excited about them. And there will be a whole new concept inside of Pixels, basically, that you guys haven't really interacted with before. But basically, the long run of that is we want to let you guys either make something like the mini games. So if you guys have played the other spec promotion that we're doing right now, we have a game like Mushroom Mash in there. This is something in the long run that you guys actually might be able to make. We want to give you the first piece of that, or the first taste of what it's like to build an environment like that. We want to kind of experiment and iterate with you guys on what our map builders and tile set builders and all of that look like. But that's something that we plan on getting out relatively soon. It's something that we want to get out for the release of chapter 2. So expect that. Realms will be this whole new concept. It's something that we probably want to give access to landowners first. So that's the only hint I'll give there. But expect Realms and Realms access to be landowner exclusive at first. It's a cool concept. It kind of ties in with land too. And yeah, we want to start to experiment with some other concepts as well too. Like I've been watching Friend Tech a lot, and there might be some interesting stuff there when it comes to realms or when it comes to like other game mechanics in terms of like social play or Web3 social that we want to start to think about and incorporate as well. Like one thing I'm thinking about a lot is how can we create systems for our most active players to have encourage them to get more people behind them. Like I'm seeing KG get all of his minions. Like how can we create a system where KG can build an empire inside of Pixels? Like that's some kind of stuff that we're thinking about. So yeah, we'll probably also try to get some feedback from all of you on ideas that you guys have around that kind of stuff and kind of pick your brains on what might work there. But I just think there's such an interesting thing that exists in what we've built, our tech stack, and in Web3 in general, where we might be able to experiment with some of that stuff. And then one other thing that you can expect in chapter 2, obviously, is pets. So we've been working on pets really hard. You're going to get the first taste of pets when we do the carnival. So the carnival, expect that again in like 2 to 4 weeks when we go live on Ronin. That'll be your first taste of what chapter 2 is going to be looking like when we have this whole new game mechanic built around these pets. They follow you around in game. They're really cute. They're kind of like Tamagotchi style right now, but we want to add some more mechanics around them as well too, like some elements of competition, skill, or whatever we can do around that. So yeah, those are the 3 main things: core loop polish in chapter 2, more UGC tooling, and pets.
Oh, I'm pumped. Okay. We still have a bunch of questions, some from earlier, some new ones. If you have any questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat. Anything specific you want to pull up?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Let's get through them all.
Okay, hold on. Let me address this one. Okay, we didn't get any benefits from Tastemaker's Quest yet. And what about others and the Quest? Okay, so you're talking about other spec, which isn't specifically Tastemaker's 2.0. So it's other spec. It's still going, guys. You still need to get all your diamonds. I'm working on I think my 4th diamond now. So there's no rewards yet because it's not over yet. So
yeah,
keep going.
When is the end date? It's October 4th?
October 4th, the 4th of October. It we'll wrap up then. So keep going, and then maybe you'll be rewarded.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys followed the Tastemakers challenge, I think we did in like April. There were pretty valuable rewards for that. Like the rewards for that, I think the grills, some of them were selling for like $600. Like I think the lower tier one was selling for like $100 to $200. Yeah, there were some good rewards for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Pull up whatever question you want.
Okay, I'm gonna go through some and star them right now. Lots of questions about using axes.
Oh yeah. Actually, Kate, here's a question we got a long time ago. How is token 2049 for Pixels in the long run? Any cash on partnerships? So this is where we announced that we were partnering with Ronin. So yeah, it was pretty significant. It was pretty exciting. I wasn't there. Luke was, so he can speak to it more. But yeah, it was pretty big.
That was crazy. I was up until like 6 a.m. every day, dealing with like some of the Ronin migration stuff, which was super fun. But yeah, we got a ton of value out of that, I'll say. One, it was really nice just to connect with Animoca in person. Animoca invested in our previous round, and yeah, it was just nice meeting that whole team in person. We have some cool stuff lined up with them, with Mochaverse. I don't want to spill anything there, but yeah, Mochaverse has some really interesting plans of their own. If you guys haven't seen what they're up to, they're kind of working on-chain reputation or identity. And yeah, we'll probably do some stuff with them as well. Say, they have some cool stuff in the works.
Oh, this is a really good question from earlier too. How are you perceiving the numbers so far in terms of daily active users since the announcement of the Ronin transition?
Yeah, DAU has gone up, probably like 50%. It is interesting. So one thing that you guys aren't seeing is we've done a pretty good job of bot removal and detection lately. Basically, like I don't want to say zero, but like very, very, very low number of bots over the last month. It's basically all real players that you're seeing in the game, and we've done a good job on that. And with that, we've also seen like a good amount of DAU coming from Ronin. Yeah, I think we have on-chain transparency with our DAU tracking, so you can look at it on DApp Radar right now if you want, and you can kind of look at the boost. But yeah, I think we can attribute like a good 2 to 3K DAU boost just from Ronin users, which is cool. And then what's interesting too, this is a very important thing actually, and a very, very interesting thing is we've actually seen much higher retention in cohorts from the Ronin chain users than our typical baseline level of retention. So that means these Ronin players are actually quite dedicated, and they're a very good fit for the game. That means.
All right. All right, 5 more minutes until the mayor energy party. So get ready for that.
Okay. Yeah, let's just bust through some of these. So you have a sign up for projects who want to integrate the crypto project with Pixels. How do you see these partnerships playing out? How do you plan to implement them? So yeah, we've worked with over 70 NFT collections to integrate them into Pixels. We're still open for some too. I will say what we're more interested in lately is deeper forms of interoperability. So we're really interested in just like unique integrations that push the Web3 space in ways that people haven't seen before. That said, we'll probably still do some, typical avatar integrations. I think we have one coming out next week or in a couple of days, maybe.
Monday. It's
Monday?
it's a really cool one too.
Yeah, that one would be
It's from
cool.
a really cool team. And you know what? I'm being a little secretive about it, but Hans just leaked it on general chat like 10 minutes ago. So
Cool. Well, yeah, if you want to sleuth a bit, you can maybe get a little taste of who we're going to be working with. Pretty excited about that one. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff from the Ronin ecosystem picks. We'll probably start to experiment there. Can we get exclusive furniture in-game objects for VIP members, like Habbo Club, where the more time you are in, the better rewards you get? Owners will love new objects, and no owners can sell them. That's a great idea, actually. That's very, very doable for us. I'll take that one to the team. Let me screenshot this now and just put it in our design channel because yeah, we can totally do that one.
did Luke just freeze or did I freeze?
I think I froze for a second. So
Okay,
who's going to be in charge?
You're good. We're good.
Good. Who's going to be in charge to register the token, the coin metrics, all that kind of stuff? Yeah, one thing that we might want to do is set up a community ambassador program. Like we just released a community content creator program, and we're kind of figuring out what that looks like. But yeah, we want to be giving content creators perks because that's one actually great learning that we're learning from the Ronin ecosystem and the Axie ecosystem, how well they've supported creators in that ecosystem. And I think that's something that we want to model after them. So yeah, we want to give perks to people who are making good content in this ecosystem. And yeah, like a perk can be things like VIP, all of that too. So yeah, this I think would kind of fall into the same realm of like, a community ambassador, in-game perks for helping maintain things like this. Would Axie lands have their own kind of world at Pixel someday? All I want to say is that's a pretty cool idea. That's all I want to say. Chapter 2 will be amazing. Carnival and pets minting and Ronin network. Yep, that's right. Can we expect to pay in Roan for... Can somebody just help me right now?
Ron.
Is it Ron or Roan? Let me know in the comments right now so I never mess this again.
Please let us know. We were talking about this internally too.
Ron or Roan, please. I'm going to say Roan.
I say Ron. So one of us is wrong. One of us is right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're moving VIP over to that ecosystem too. I think it's Ron, like Burgundy. Okay. Yeah. So can you expect to pay for VIP and Ron? Yeah, we're gonna, I think, do a mixture of credit card payments and like possibly Ron as well.
Right, I'm just
Are we
saying.
going to be able to use axes? Maybe if we, yeah, maybe. And then, yeah, welcome to Web3 gaming done the right way.
Okay, I'm just setting up the energy party for the mayor. I'm putting a portal in the theater so you guys can go straight there.
Oh, Kegi has some thoughts on the Ronin event. I don't think we should have more time for the Ronin event. We like rarity. Let those be rare. Let people buy them on the secondary for Barry. Yeah. So what's interesting is if you've been following along with Pixels, like some of the like OG items that we released, like we did like a holiday quest back in December 2021, and you got like a Christmas tree, or we did or one of the perks for being in the top 100 in the play the airdrop was this item called a golden rake.
Oh, the golden
There's
ray.
only 100 of them in the game. I think they're going for like $2,000 on like peer-to-peer trading. Yeah, there's items like that that are actually quite valuable. So I don't want to cause any frenzy, but I will say like items like this, we like to think about things like
But
that.
there is no item, so that's the thing. The
Well,
Ronin
no, the
quest,
Ronin blocks.
the Ronin blocks they're useless. You just use them to craft a chain which you sell. So they're not
I
them that you can place down. So if they're in your inventory, they're not tradable. They're the only use of this was to bring on new people. So
yeah.
I agree with you though, and maybe there were some people in chat suggesting like, oh, maybe you should extend the quest and make it
Yeah.
craft a statue and that kind of thing. That would be
Or
rare.
maybe we make them tradable now.
We can talk
Now that the quest is over.
why there's no utility. Anyway,
Yeah, I feel like people will
oh,
still
wait, they
want
are
them.
tradable. Wait, they are tradable.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah, but they're only like all you can do with them is sell them. So, anyways.
But that's all there are in the game now.
All right. So, Mayor Flipsid's energy party has started. There is a portal in the theater, and I'm just running over to Terravilla Central to put a portal in there as well. We're gonna keep going here for a few more minutes. If you guys have any more questions, Luke, do you want to share the party? Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah. What's the farm number again?
458.
458. Yeah, I'm making my way over.
Beach ball is the best item. This user, our ex-mayor, always talks about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, oh, my screen is. I think all these hearts froze my screen.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're underestimating the collector persona in the community sometimes. Oh man. I gotta open up a new tab.
Okay, there is a portal in Terravilla Central now as well. That will take you to party. Someone just asked, what is this?
Yeah, so if you're following along, we have another party going on, a mayor party, correct? So if you guys haven't followed along with Pixels, we actually do a monthly election. It's like this fun mechanic. What?
Not monthly. The goal when we started this was to make it every 6 weeks, but it's like every 8 now or something
Every
like
8
that.
weeks.
Anyway, every once in a while, there's there's an election.
Every once in a while, there's an election. It's like this fun metagame mechanic that we have, basically, where the players of our community can vote for a new mayor, and the mayor gets to make some choices in terms of game mechanics as well. And then they also get to do things like host energy parties. So our mayor right now is Flepsid, very active player. And yeah, it's a great farm. He's made a recreation of his NFT. And if you notice too, a lot of people have Flepsid heads. That's like one fun thing that we've done for some of the mayors as well. Or at least it's one of the choices that they typically get. Where if you look at this hairstyles, you'll see that we did a chicken head for our previous mayor, Chicken Pet. We did an elephant head for our previous mayor, Elephantium. and we have this Flepsid head. So if you want to show support for the mayor, you can change your head to be just like them.
I love those. Yeah, the first time we ever did that was for, or no, wait, it was for Easter. I personally was really adamant. I was like, we need a bunny head. And I drew the bunny head back then. I drew that one. And it was so much fun. So then when, was it chicken? No. Wait, who was the first mayor to have a head?
I think it was chicken.
Was it chicken? Hold on, I'm looking in them so I can remember. Yeah, it must have been chicken. So that chicken head, okay, I also made that chicken. I was using someone else's art to like kind of help me, like Pixel's art, don't worry, I didn't steal it. But I did make that chicken head as well. And now we have our artists make them, which is much better. And yeah, I love them so much. They're so great. The elephant was amazing. And then I sent our artist, Mayor Flepsid's avatar that he uses a lot, which is this green cat doing something that I don't like. But anyways, and I was like, I need a head and it needs to be in Pixel's art style, but look as much like this as possible.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. He nailed it. I was blown away at how spot on he was able to make this art. So, anyways, they're really fun. We love doing stuff like that. All right. Do you guys have any more questions for us in the last couple minutes here?
184 players at this party. That's
oh my
crazy.
gosh. Nice. There was like 160 something, I think, in the theater when I looked.
Well, nice. Yeah, this was a super fun AMA, guys.
Yeah, I'm stoked. All right. I mean, you guys know that. Like, once again, I need to stop drinking coffee before these AMAs because they come on here and I'm like, I'm so excited. Okay, this is a good question. How often are these parties? So actually, this is a good time to introduce something that we worked on and released, but we didn't really talk about publicly because there was so much going on that it didn't really make sense to highlight this. But anyways, if you're in Terravilla now, Terravilla has changed a little bit. For our newcomers, you obviously won't know this, but the marketplace that is now in the upstairs of Bucks Galore actually used to be in 2 different tents in Terravilla. So it moved because it makes more sense that it's in Bucks Galore. And, anyways, in place of the cell tent. So if you're looking at Terravilla, it's just to top upper right of the, what do you call it? Oh yeah, sorry. That text needs to go. No, go right. So that's where it used to be. So on the right-hand side here now, we have the Pixels event calendar. So if you click on that, you will see events that we have put in here. Now, I know it's not pretty, okay? You don't need to tell me that, but it's functional and it's great. So this is where we're sharing information about upcoming events and like when they are. I thought it was supposed to work. So when you guys look at it, it's in your time zone. Someone said it's in Pacific, so I'm not sure. Please let me know. But you can see like we've got the merch drop happening. Pixels AMA is in there. Mayor Flepsid's party's in there. And if you want to submit a request for an energy party in Pixels, you can fill out this form. Now Luke has changed all of our forms to a different URL, so all of them are broken. But we will update that. I will write a note down. Update URL. And you can fill out this form and submit a request for an energy party. So we had a birthday party on Monday, which was the first user to ever submit through this form. And we have an upcoming birthday party in about a month, actually, another user. So if you want to throw an energy party, you can submit through there and it will be reviewed by the team. And so far, 2 out of 2 have been accepted. So yeah, to answer your question, they're kind of all over the place. Yeah, they're all over the place. It kind of just, they happen when they happen. In the last several months, I would say we probably have averaged around one every 2 weeks on average, maybe. But they're really fun.
Do we break 200 people in here? 212 players. Nice.
How much till we bring down the server?
Yeah, 500 to 600 is when in one farm is when people might start getting some bad experiences.
Okay. "24-hour parties on different farms." That would be fun. But like, what kind of party? Because I feel like throwing like a 24-hour energy party, like what's the point, you know?
Oops. Yeah, somebody asked where you can buy an NFT for avatars. So that is another page that we have. It's pixels.xyz.
I'll put the link in the chat. So there's a web page on our website that you can go to, and you can see Luke showing it here. It has all of the collections that we've integrated, and then they all link to their OpenSea page where you can purchase their NFT. So I will just say, we're not associated with any of these collections whatsoever. So, you know, purchase as you please, but keep that in mind. And yeah, you have to purchase them, and they have to be in the same wallet that you use to log into Pixels with. Some of them, so like Squishverse here, if they have like little asterisks next to them, they all appear in the same way. All of their NFTs appear the same in game. And I do this for a lot of users because it's fun, but I can actually do a mock-up of what any of our integrated avatars look like in Pixels. So if you're hesitant to buy, hop in Discord and just ping me, or I think Rag Poet can do it as well. Maybe like Hans, ping the community team and ask if you can get a mock-up of one of the avatars you're thinking about buying, and we can show you what it looks like. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of like great cheap options too. What's cool about the bear market is if you actually care about what they look like, you have your picks now and they're not too expensive.
Right? There was a period of time where I bought so many. I haven't bought any new avatars in probably like 6 to 8 months. Like it's been a long time. And then yesterday I was in general chat and someone just randomly mentioned that like gas for buying a Pixels farmland was like $3. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. Like some
Time
guys
to
have been
buy.
pretty bad lately.
Time to buy some avatars. Anyways.
222. Nice, nice. Well, yeah, guys, super fun AMA. So glad to have all of you with us. And yeah, again, we do this every single week. So if you have questions, always feel free to bring them. And yeah, let us know. And then also, we're pretty active in the Discord too. So we'll always be there. And yeah, merch
store, guys. Merch is open for 1 week. If you have any questions, hop over to Discord, tag me, tag Drops by Ryan. We'll answer any questions you have. I'm so excited.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I guess that might be all that we have today. We'll continue to be in the energy party. How long is the energy party lasting, Heidi?
1 hour as always. So all of our events, all of our energy parties are 1 hour. So we got around 45 more minutes. All right. Wonderful. We'll see you guys on the farm.
Thanks,
I was so sappy or cute. Okay, whatever. Okay, bye guys.